Good evening, Adam. Adam Blatner, for those of you that don't know Adam. And thank you very much for agreeing to be our very first legacy interview.
Thank you.
So we've had many different relationships together, you and I.
What?
We've had many different relationships and different role relationships together.
Different role relationships, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you, thank you. And it's my delight to interview you. I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of interviewing you in this kind of semi-formal way.
Yes.
So, I wanted to ask you first, so you've been with us in this association a long time, many years.
I attended Marino Institute in 1968 or 9. Anyway, Marcia Karp was there, and Tom Treadwell, and I forgot who else.
And at that point, where were you in your training? Were you already a psychiatrist?
I was in psychiatry training, and I had encountered a woman who was not in the organization who volunteered to help me.
Wow.
And I was kind of bored with psychoanalysis because that was the reigning thing, and I talked too much. And so that was very satisfying to me. And as I read about it at the Stanford University Library, fascinating. Not well read, not well written, but fascinating.
So what about that fascination got you to come? What called you?
Movement,
Movement.
health, spontaneity, not pathology, with a breath of fresh air.
So even though you were in a very traditional profession and a psychiatrist, there was something about that that was feeling too contained.
I
and
think it was
stilted.
February 1968 that I came here, February, March. I came to Beacon. But before that, I discovered it about a year and a half before.
So, being one of the descendants directly of Marino, I'm going to just kind of leap forward in your career. When you look over it, it's been many years, and I'm curious, as you look back, what are you most proud of, and when we think of you, what do you want to be known for?
I articulated well what he wrote poorly.
So you
And he
stated
said,
it.
"Why don't you write a book about it?" I said, "Okay."
So Marino actually invited you.
He invited me to write a book, so I wrote a book.
You did. And
And
did he
I
get
found-
to see your book? Did he get to see it
Did he say-
or read it?
I think so.
Which
Maybe.
book was that, for people that don't know?
He died a year later, after my book was out,
And which book was that?
Acting In.
Acting It. It's a classic for all of us.
And he wrote the foreword. He wrote a line for the foreword.
Mhm.
So I'm proud of that. Gave him
So
some
here's
short.
an interesting link. You have asked, from my generation onward, you always invite us to write. And actually Marino invited you to write for him.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That's nice.
A little bit of a legacy link.
Little legacy link.
Awesome. So what are you proud of in this very many-decade, multi-layered career of yours?
I did a lot, but I didn't know I did a lot until the last 6 months when I was asked to write something, and I did a lot.
And was this, as you were reflecting, I know you recently got an award, is this because you were writing about, and you had some time to stop and think and
Yes,
look at what you did?
I retired and I moved out here, and I did a lot. I
Mhm.
took,
So the retirement allowed you to stop and look and actually take in what
Yes.
all that you have done.
Yes, I made up the list, and I said, whoa.
So pick a couple things on that list that not only you feel proud of, but when we think of you, and you are such an important part of so many of our histories, in those things, many things you've done,
Well,
which ones do you say, that was good?
I helped rationalize what was sensible, what made sense. And I'm glad to have served that way, because Marino had insights, but he was a hypomanic personality, and he was a little crazy. But not in a crazy way. As he said, it would be good if many more people would be crazy. But I helped rationalize and put together what he said the best way I knew how. Other people have put it together.
As we say, give me an example of like one piece of a way in which you would rationalize something that he said that was not so very clear.
I've been writing about sociometry, and it's unfortunate, well, psychodrama is an unfortunate word itself, because psychodrama implies psychiatry, which ruled the world in the 1940s and 50s, but it's action explorations. And that reframing, like calling computers not computers, but data processors. Reframing it, allow it to be used for people who really use it, which is law, which is present at this conference, government, art, and I'm planning on working on a book applying all kinds of methods like drama therapy, which there is some of here, although they don't call it drama therapy. And I can't think of other things.
Well, you kind of very wonderfully set the table for me to kind of ask the next question, which is, where to now, and where is your kind of growing edge
That's
as you
the
plan
book.
this last book?
That's the book. It's applying psychodramatic methods for all kinds of things that are not therapy. They're for healthy people who want to grow, and we're at a time in history where people can grow in many ways. People aren't going to stop growing. They're just not going to have to call it psychotherapy.
Exactly.
And go ahead.
One of the things that's been very interesting as you kind of put this idea out to the community, it's fascinating to me that there has been just a flurry of discussion and emails from the you've invited many people to write about what they're doing in other arenas other than therapeutic applications. And there's been such a robust and creative
It's
discussion.
not such a robust.
You don't think?
No.
Okay.
Most people are psychodramatists.
I thought there was a lot of good discussion about what should the title be, and I thought that was kind of symbolic of the fact that you were really onto something that's really been happening for some time.
Yes.
And now, again, you're putting words to something, which is psychodrama, sociometry, and group psychotherapy is in many areas.
Many areas. And so many things you can do with it.
So you made a comment, you said, Nancy, it's not so robust. Tell me what you mean by that.
Oh, there's not that many psychodramatists writing. There's a few, and there's a few drama therapists writing, and there's a few applied improvisation writing. So there's those who want to write and want to say, what's in this book? They want to say what's good about it. I do give it to Marino. I say he started it, and his vision was for all the world, for all humanity. That's the title of the book, for all humanity. Girls didn't count back then. They do now. So I changed it for all mankind to all humanity.
So how many different writers, how many different writers have you?
About 20.
20?
Yeah.
And as you see it now, I know it's a work in progress, how many different chapters?
20,
20?
about.
Okay. 20. That's pretty,
It's a robust book.
yeah, it's robust, okay. Any surprises along the way as people have been responding to your emails?
The surprise will be drama therapy and applied improvisation and Boal's method, theater of the oppressed. People are enacting because all the world's a stage and all the people in it, actors. And
Story is powerful.
huh?
Story is powerful.
That's wonderful. I'm going to quote that. Story is powerful.
In all arenas. of
That's
life.
the bridge,
Mhm.
because story is powerful. I'm tempted to go over and write it in my book, but I'm sitting here.
I'll remind you, we have that kind of relationship.
No, really,
don't we?
story is
Story
powerful.
Is very powerful.
And that makes the bridge for why are these methods applicable in so many ways.
Because we're all storytellers.
It used to be for psychiatry. Most of psychiatric patients don't want to change. As Fritz Perls said, people don't want to change. Those who do are mostly healthy, with a little neurosis. I mean, I have a little neurosis, you have a little neurosis. But you know, that's the texture of our skin. But creative thinking applies for all worlds. There used to be a thing called getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Ha!
What is that, right? It's a wonderful stage, I think, to be at the stage of generativity that you are at.
Generativity, yes.
And you have generated children, generated many students and trainees. But when you think about your kind of legacy to this field, you've been with us a long time, and you do represent where Marino came from, his seeds, psychiatry, traditional, and now you are such a wonderful example of being so contemporary and morphing and accepting all of these. What would you like to be your legacy in this field?
My modesty.
Your modesty. I thought you were going to say your elfdom.
Well, that's
a joke
another
between
role
us.
after psychodrama.
That's another role.
Is I'm going off and presenting in fantasy form metaphysical ideas. I just had one a while back, which is a mandala. I don't have human form at all. I just made that up.
Well, it reminds me also, too, people that know you and have been close to you for decades, which I have had the privilege of, every once in a while, maybe around holiday time, you send out these wonderful doodles.
Yes, I have them on my computer so you can see what kind of an elf I am. And I use the elf thing, but I also use the mandaloids. And I just made up that thing of, they're really mandalas.
Exactly. And it just
But-
reminds me of, you were one of the very first books I read to really understand about play, and it was the book that you wrote with your
The Art of
lovely
Play,
wife.
yes.
The Art of Play. Yes, it was a very
I may
important
get
book.
back to it.
Because in a way, you've never really left that. Because one of the things I just want to say on a personal level that you and I have always shared is that kind of playfulness.
I didn't know that about you, that you like, well, I know we played, but
We play, yeah.
I didn't know that you liked the word, the art of play. I must get back to that.
Well, I think the reason on a deeper level why that's been important to me is so you have that intellectual, scholarly part that many people have mentioned that says you were the person that said go ahead and write about that. You have to write.
Yes.
But then you have this wonderful and delicious, elfin, playful part that dances, that sings, that has this little glow in your eye,
Twinkle.
that doodles, that twinkle. And you really, in many ways, have embodied that kind of spontaneity and creativity that is at the very core of what psychodrama and
Now that I
sociometry
think
and
about it,
life is about.
Marino, I give credit. It's just occurred to me to give him credit
It's
because he
good.
twinkled and he attracted me. He was a bit of a jerk,
He's a bit of a jerk. Yeah.
but then again, I'm a bit of a jerk in
We can
another
all
way,
be jerks, right?
you know,
We
well,
can identify with that. all. Yeah.
different ways. But he twinkled, and I was very impressed with him when he got up. I said, whoa,
Whoa. Whoa and wow.
wow, because psychiatrists didn't do that.
So there was kind of something about him that inspired that emotion of awe. It was something, he was bigger than life.
Delight, awe, not exactly awe, but just
Inspiration.
wow, wow. He inspired wow,
Inspired.
not awe.
So the last thing is we kind of come to closure about this. So if you were to role reverse with either Marino or Zerka and to leave your community, ASGPP, and the community of psychodramatists in the world, because I know how international, what, if you were to role reverse with either of them, what do you think the message would be?
Well, he did say it. He said, take it on. Don't dilute it, take it on. And I would say, do your thing and mix it with other things, because there's all kinds of people who are doing it with government workers, people who are doing it with preachers, people who are doing it with, you have Mickey Mouse on your sandals.
Maybe people are doing Mickey Mouse. People they're doing with lawyers.
I got Mickey Mouse.
Oh, you have Mickey Mouse. Yeah.
Do it. Mix it with whatever you bring to the game.
So go forth and be spontaneous. And
Go
say
forth
yes.
and be individual, because I can't help what I am.
Beautifully said. Yeah. Be the best. No one else can be the best you.
No one else can be the best you, and I'm not that great, but
Yeah.
I am what I am.
Nobody else can play the part of you.
Yeah,
Do it. Thank you, Adam.
thank you.